It is Better Country 1017 The Bull. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning as we are joined by a very special guest here. This man's been singing into a microphone for a very long time, yet he has not lost a single step. His debut album, released 35 years ago, spawned 5 number ones. Since then, has gone to become one of the biggest names in all of country music. 22 number ones to his name, and now he's coming to Fort Madison, and we can't wait. Clint Black joins us here on 1017 The Bull. Mr. Black, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Good to talk to you.
Well, hey, I appreciate the time there, Mr. Black. Let's get right into things. As I mentioned in your intro, you're celebrating 35 years of the release of your Killing Time, your debut album, which has pretty much cemented itself as one of the biggest country albums of all time. When you look back 3.5 decades later, did you have a sense that when you were getting ready to release this album that you could be onto something big, or I guess how has this album was and how is it still received to this day? Was that a major surprise to you?
Well, no, I was pretty sure I knew what I was making. I didn't know it would be as big as it was, but I thought it would be enough to get me on the radio. And I believed people would love it as much as I was a fan of country music long before I made that album. So I felt like I knew what we all like. So I thought, yeah, people are going to like this. You know, they may like this one song better than the other, but I just knew they were going to like Killing Time and A Better Man. And Straight from the Factory, the first song was going to be the first single, and I thought it should be A Better Man. And I was at a radio station in Los Angeles, and the programmer said, well, I could add Straight from the Factory, you know, if it gets in the top 20. And I knew kind of what that meant. So I played him, gave him a cassette with A Better Man on it, and that changed the choice of single because he said he would add that one right away. So I had a sense, but you never know. You dream, and then, you know, you wake up.
That's right. I mean, and I guess you guys made the right decisions. And like I said, now 35 years, that album is still loved by so many people. Your name is put in with music historians in what they call the class of '89, where you've got Alan Jackson, Garth Brooks, Travis Tritt, among others, who were all responsible for making country music insanely popular, brought so much success to the industry. What was it like working in Nashville at that time? And was there any kind of competition between you guys, or were you just trying to help each other succeed in the business?
Well, there was competition. I was out there in front of Garth and Alan and the others, you know, Randy Travis and George Strait were ahead of me, Skaggs, you know, they all really led the way. And then when my album came out, I saw a bit of the competitiveness with Garth. I think it's kind of obvious how competitive he is, but he was a marketing major in college and put that to good use. And he used to talk about me in interviews. So I had this sense, you know, that he was, you know, really gunning for me, so to speak. You know, I was getting asked about what he said about me all the time in interviews. For me, I wasn't competitive at all. I really felt like I'll do my best work, and then I'll work hard as I've always done, and let the chips fall where they may. I didn't like the idea of competing with other artists because I feel like art is subjective, and you know, I can see where the competitiveness. And I'm about to play your rodeo there, and there's, you know, it's so competitive. A comedian friend of mine said he was watching the Olympics, but he had to quit because it became so competitive, which is a funny joke. I just never had that. Maybe being the youngest of four boys, I just sort of watched everybody else, them fight and all that, and stayed out of the fray.
We're talking to Clint Black here on Better Country 1017 The Bull. And back in the '90s, every album that you released was a top 10 album in the country music charts. Did you feel like there was pressure on you with every album that you released to make it a top 10? Or were you just doing your thing and the top 10 just kept coming?
You know, there was pressure from the record company for me to let them find songs for me that they thought were hits. and I'd written all that first album, half of it, over half with my lead guitarist, and wrote all the subsequent albums. And I felt like that earned me the right to keep writing my albums because of the success we were having. But the record company, they weren't satisfied with the success we were having, and felt like I should record other people's songs. But every time I went in to make a record, I had written 3 albums worth of songs just to cover my album, and I knew it started with an A, uh, and uh, and so I felt like it's kind of like, working hard to make the money to send your kids to college, and someone makes you send the neighbor's kids to college, and yours have to sit at home. And it never made sense to me. So there was a lot of pressure for that. And finally, I think it led to the dissolution of our relationship, me and RCA.
Well, still, like I said, you ended up doing pretty well, though, despite all those challenges you had to deal with. You had big success, obviously, in the 90s. You were a part of the 1994 Super Bowl halftime show. I believe it was Super Bowl 28, where the Cowboys beat the Bills for the
Yep.
second straight year. What do you remember about that performance? Were you nervous at all, or did you just feel like it was another stadium show for you?
We had had enough prep and all that. I knew the song well, so I felt pretty good about it, and was just excited and having fun. Hanging with the Judds and Tritt and Tanya Tucker. All that. It was a lot of fun, and then afterwards going to the Cowboys party and hanging out with the players and getting my football autographed by Troy Aikman. I got up and sang with the band they had playing there, and just had a ball.
Are you a Cowboys fan by chance?
Well, not by chance. It was forced on me by my dad, who, if you didn't root for the Cowboys, you wouldn't get your allowance.
Uh-oh. Well, you.
So we grew up. I grew up in Houston, and we had the Oilers, and we couldn't. They couldn't quite get over the threshold. Although I blame the umpires, the refs in Pittsburgh for that.
Oh, yes.
Forget what game it was, but we had scored, but it was a blizzard, and they called it wrong. Anyway, I don't hold a grudge, obviously.
Not at all. Not at all.
But we love the Cowboys. The Cowboys, Tom Landry, and just a great, great team.
Well, you getting to perform there for the Cowboys at the halftime show must have been really, really cool. We're talking to Clint Black, by the way, here on Better Country 101.7 The Bull. You've kind of ventured into the acting world on a couple of occasions. Notably, you were in a TV show called Wings, and then you did a 1994 movie called Maverick. Did you ever consider pursuing maybe a little more career in acting, or was that just something you kind of did on the side that was fun for you?
I just staved it off as much as I could, and then I got a call. I said no, I'd been offered things and said no, no thanks. I'm not an actor. And then I got a call to be in Maverick with James Garner and Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and every actor that'd been in every Gunsmoke and all of that I'd have ever seen. And I couldn't pass it up, and there wasn't much pressure on me to be a good actor, but I went and did it and had so much fun that I called my agent and I said, okay, bring those offers on. This is fun. So I did as much as I could, as much as I had a passion for. My passion's for the music, so I wasn't going to let acting get in the way of that. And there's a couple of things I did push myself. The Jack Favor story, movie I did with my wife, I pushed that up the hill and got that made, and then the third Flicka movie, I kind of pushed that one on us, and did that with our wife Lisa again, and our daughter Lily tried out for a part and got 9. She was 9, got the part of Nina, and the three of us went off to Kelowna, British Columbia for a month and made a movie.
All right, that sounds like a whole lot of fun there. Again, talking to Clint Black,
Yeah.
and you know, I've been told that you've even done some stuff here recently, not necessarily acting, but you were able to cut a version of John Denver's "Country Road, Take Me Home" for the new biopic Reagan, which is coming out. How intimidating was that, trying to cover a song that is so loved by so many different generations in the country music world?
No, not at all. No, I've sung that song so many times. I sang it in the bars every night. All my years in the bars around Houston, I sang that song, and "Back Home Again" by John. So many of his songs, and so I knew what to do, and and then it was just a matter of well, I got the call. I was on the road. I came into town, went right into the studio, cut that, and got back on the bus. That was a little difficult, but I wasn't going to miss a chance to be in that movie. Dennis Quaid's a pal, so I'm going to support him every chance I get, and just be around him is great. And so, and then the other thing, I know it's an important movie when they make a movie about a president, and the fact that it was in the scene it was used in, I knew was very special. So I was glad to be a part of it.
We're talking to Clint Black here on 1017 The Bull. You might be the first person that I've ever interviewed, which is, I mean, I've interviewed some people and it's been great, but you might be the first person I've interviewed that is a member of the Grand Ole Opry. And so many people talk about how big of an honor that is. You've been doing this for a long time. Where does this rank in the list of accomplishments that you've been able to do throughout your career?
Yeah, it's there's nothing that compares to it. I don't look at it as an accomplishment. It's more of a an invite from a family to come be a part of the family. It's kind of there's nothing you can compare it to. It's not like achieving album sales. It's not like winning an award. It's more special in a way because you can't earn it. They have to have a feeling for you and how you will be for the rest of your life. They have to see something there and say, this guy's a good fit. It's kind of like being invited to join a club, a very very limited membership.
Well, that's a very important club in the world of country music. Once again, we're talking to Clinton Black here on 1017 The Bull. One more question, Mr. Black, before I let you go here. You're obviously coming to the Tri-State Rodeo Saturday, September 7th. We can't wait to have you. For anybody who maybe hasn't seen one of your shows, or maybe someone who has, but it's just been a while, what can folks expect when they see you step on the stage there Saturday night?
Well, it's a very good show, according to me, and the band agrees. I have a great band. We are better than ever. If you saw me 10 years ago or 20 years ago or longer, I think you'll see an improvement. We're just better at it. I mean, we're journeymen now, so we should be. I'm singing better than ever. The band gets to play, so it's not like when the singing part of the song is over, doodly doot, and that's it. We like to play music. So if you want to see some hot pickers, we've got a guy who plays really great fiddle and great dobro and lap steel, and of course Hayden Nicholas has been with me forever on lead guitar, and Jake Willimane as well on bass. Great drummer. My keyboardist is amazing. My cousin has joined us on pedal steel guitar and dobro and acoustic guitar, and I'm playing a lot of lead guitar and of course harmonica as always. So it's a very musical show. Everybody gets to stretch out and try not to break it. And so along with all the hits, you get to see some great musicianship. And we're always excited. Every night is the Super Bowl for me. Every show is the most important show I'll do. So we give it our all.
Well, hey, we're looking forward to having you here, Mr. Black. Thank you so much for taking the time and chatting with us. We'll see you Saturday night at the Tri-State Rodeo.
Can't wait. All right. Well, thanks.
Well, hey, thank you.